Morning first year, hope you're all well and had a nice weekend. Well done to those of you who completed the tasks for last week, some really good work coming in, so keep it up. Okay, for this week, just to show you where you're going to find your resources, so as usual you're going to go to Files, number 1, Elements and Periodic Table, and then we are on week 6 of lockdown, so 6 element tasks week 6, the 22nd of February. And as usual, you'll find your checklist, your learning intentions and your resources. So I'll go to the learning intention success criteria first. Okay, so this week we are going to learn about some of the properties of our elements, our metals and non-metals from our periodic table. So success criteria is, first of all, that you can state what is meant by a property of an element, that you can name some properties a substance could have, that you can state some properties of metal elements, state some properties of non-metal elements, and then using all this knowledge to select elements that would be most suitable for a particular use based on their properties. Okay, so I'll go through what that means just now. So, our tasks for this week. Our first task, what you're doing right now, is watching this video explaining the work. If you then click onto this link here, it will open BBC Bite Size and it will give you different information about properties of elements. So I'll not open that just now, but if you click there, that'll give you some information that you can read. You're then going to go to your booklet, which I'll open in a second. There's some information to read on page 1, and then there are a few tasks for you to complete on pages 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and I'll talk you through them just now. You can write your answers in your jotters or on paper, or download a copy of the Word document and type your answers into your own copy. You do not need to submit this week. What I'll do is I'll release the answers later on in the week and you can check how you've got on, but you don't need to submit it as an assignment. As always, if you want me to have a look at anything or if you're not sure, then feel free just to post to the Teams page. That's absolutely fine, but you don't need to submit it. Then something a little bit different this week, going to get you to attempt a Kahoot quiz. So we've used Kahoot a couple of times in class before. So you just go into Kahoot and the pin number is here and it will take you to a quiz that you can complete after you've completed this week's tasks. And then, as usual, there will be an assignment quiz that will be posted on Wednesday of this week that you should complete at the end of all the rest of these tasks. So, to take you through what we're learning about then. Okay, so we're talking about properties. So, what a property is, it's something that's got a particular feature. So, something that you can use to describe about a substance that allows it to do something. So it could be that it's brittle, which means it breaks easily. It could be that it's heat resistant. That would be a property. Even just thinking about you and in simple terms, like properties about you, it could be like your hair colour, eye colour and so on. So if we have a look at a couple of the properties here that we're going to talk about in relation to our elements. So we could be talking about something that's dense, malleable, sonorous, brittle, conductor and ductile. Now, you may have heard of some of these words before, you may not have, so it's important that you read through the explanations of each of them because that will help you answer the questions. We could also talk about it being hard, strong, lustrous. So again, it's important to familiarise yourself with what these words mean. So, first part is properties of metals. So we've talked about where we find our metals in the periodic table and how most of the periodic table is in fact made of metals. So what you need to think about is using this word bank down the bottom, you're going to fill in the blanks in the passage up the top. So you might have to go back to page 1 to remind yourself of what these words mean, but these are all the properties that metals have. So they are something, which means they are shiny when freshly cut or polished. So you're looking for the word in the word bank that means that they are shiny when freshly cut or polished. And again, you might want to go back to page 1 for that. So you're going to fill out that passage using the word bank first of all. Again, a similar activity here. You're going to link the property of the metal with the object. Okay, so you're having to look at what the object is and think about what you want it to do, and then link it to that property that makes it do that job well. So, for example, if I look at the tin whistle, you think about, what do I want the tin whistle to do? Well, I want it to produce a sound. I want it to make music. So out of all of these properties, yes, it's shiny, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be shiny to do its job. But what I'm looking for here is sonorous, because sonorous means it produces sounds. It produces sound waves. So that would be the key property that I would link to my tin whistle. And the same for the brass trumpet. Now, again, you might find that some of these objects have got more than one, but you're looking for the most useful one, the one that you're wanting to use it for. Okay, a little bit of scientific literacy in this part here, and again, if we were in class we would talk about this, but since you're at home, feel free to use the internet, talk to people at home about it, or just post onto the Teams posts and have a discussion amongst yourselves about it. So you're not necessarily going to know the answers to these, but it's about doing a little bit of research and trying to find out. So the metal used to make door and window frames is, the metal used to make nails is. So it's thinking about which metals are used for which job. So again, research activity here. You can look up the internet, you can discuss with people at home, or like I say, I really encourage you to go on to Teams and start talking about it with pupils in your class. Then moving on to non-metals. So obviously we use non-metals for in our objects as well for different uses. So a little bit of a literacy task here. The part that's in blue gives you some information about some non-metals and what they're used for. So neon gas is used in brightly coloured advertising signs. So what I mean by a literacy task here is what I would like you to do is extract this information and put it into a table. So we want 2 headings about the non-metal and the use of the non-metal, and then I want you to extract the information from the blue passage and put it into the table. So this is working on your ability to summarise and extract information. So we don't want every bit filled out, like every word filled out. We just want it to be very clear. So for example, if my left column was non-metal, underneath I would have neon. And then in the right column I would have use, and next to neon I'd have advertising signs. Okay, so try and make it brief but make it good science so we can see what's happening. The next part, summary of metal and non-metals. So we're just taking what we've learned about the properties and filling out this table. So again, you'll maybe need to go back to page 1 and just double check what they mean. Okay, so it is 6 pages. It might seem like a lot, but hopefully you can see, there's not a huge amount of writing. It's more filling in the blanks and things. So properties is new to us. So hopefully I've explained it a little bit. Remember, you've got your bite size as well, that'll help explain it. So have a look at that as well. As always, first year, if there's any questions, if you're not sure about what something means, please come on and talk to me. No point in, attempting the quiz at the end of the week and saying, I didn't know what this means. I'm here all week. It doesn't have to be the period that you're in science. Anytime you come across something, just post it on Teams and I'm happy to help. Okay, good luck.